day was about how educators can take a skills-first approach, especially in their classroom, and not just in the classroom, but even in their interaction with children during recess and different activities or different spaces that they have. And would love for Avinash to just explain what Tomo Club is and what we do, and then we can build on to what we actually have been doing this past year.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tomo Club stand for Tomorrow's Club, and the idea we started with was skills first approach. The skills that will make our kids ready for the future, right? We know there are so many uncertainties at the job market, with the changing work profile, the changing work environments from offline to remote, from doing a lot of things hands-on on ground to a lot of things facilitated by AI and other technologies. So this was something which I always vibed on working. This is my third startup, that the skills that really help are on the social emotional side, right? Whether it's leadership, emotional intelligence, or innovation, how you approach a problem. So that's what we do. And when we got into this market, we realized that it's a proper curriculum which has been adopted in a lot of schools across the United States. And the curriculum right now that has been taught is either through lecture based, usually text, and which involves discussions, and a lot of other things is recorded videos based. In both these scenarios, the major shortcoming was the engagement part. Since kids could be there but could not be there at the same time, right? They could be passively hearing it or just a little bit in getting involved, and hence that was a major drop off in the terms of attention of these conversations. The curriculums out there are fantastic. The things that they say is absolutely gem, but if it's not getting into the head of the kids in a way that they can relate, it ends up being unutilizable, right? So that was the first problem that we identified at Tomo Club. And the second problem that we identified, that who are the teachers who are teaching it? There's a major shortage of teachers in the US, like currently as well, and even they are overburdened. And adding to that misery, in most of the schools, it became the responsibility of an English educator to teach these skills, right? And there will be always a conflict of interest whether they have to, you know, do their English or math course first, or they do the SEL first. So in this way, there was a lot of fundamental issues in which SEL has been taught, but gladly people know about it, people are aware about it, and people are taking it now more in a positive manner. So I think Tomo Club try to just be and just be. We try to just listen to the audience, right? And the audience was schools, educators, parents, and we're like, okay, for engagement, let make games which are multiplayer, which kids can play together. We are, at the same time, we understood that the games are not enough. There has to be someone who can handhold the kids during that sessions and explain what can you learn from this game and use it in real life. So the monitor angle came in very handy over there. And then we realized that it has to be in a proper curriculum format. So that's why we made a year-long curriculums for grade 3 to grade 12. And yeah, that's how, by bit and pieces, by learning, by getting in the market and getting the feedback, we have been traveling this journey. And that's how the Tomo Club looks like today. It's a game-based SEL curriculum, which we are selling to schools. And yeah, we are so happy with the incoming uh, feedback of parents. It's so heartwarming that it is really creating an impact from the first session itself. Like, honestly, I used to think that, okay, it's going to take at least 4 weeks to 8 weeks to realize the impact. But on the contrary, parents have been coming back to us, the educators are coming back to us, that even in the first session, I've never seen that kid talking so much. I've never seen that kid sharing their mind. Because, like, to ending remark, games really bring our true selves out, right? It cut down the barriers. It makes us be honest with our personality, and when that happens, that magic happens. So yeah, that's from my end.
Yeah, I watched, there was a video, I think it was on LinkedIn and it was very interesting. I want to see more how the teacher mediates it, because that's very interesting that there is somebody doing that, and it's not a free for all.
Yeah. And just for that reason, I'm going to share my screen and let me know if you can see it. Can you see my screen? Oh,
Yeah.
can you hear it?
Yes.
Is it audible to everyone? Okay.
Let me see.
It could be bad. It could be bad. Let's take a risk. Let's take a I need have different kind of choices. So what do you think? The people who are very I'm going yeah. This might mean some of us may have tough decisions in life. Be crazy, but like your life is a gamble. So kind of routine something. All right. Because problems happen.
Yeah. So my idea to show this particular video, am I audible to everyone? Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea to show this particular video is just to showcase what actually happens during a session, right? So the game can be very simple. So as at least what you all were watching right now is a very simple game where they're just making decisions based on what they're reading, right? Very simple, very easy to do. But what's happening is that the moderator is the one who's driving these conversations, right? So questions like, okay, what sort of decisions did you have to take? Did you find it difficult to make certain decisions, right? Or what sort of difficulties did you have in arriving at a common decision? So because all the sessions and all the games that we have are multiplayer games, everyone has to pitch in, right? In some aspect or the other. Uh, Go ahead. I think you had a question. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So yes, so that's the idea behind showing this video and just exploring what sort of skills they're actually taking from this. Would love to ask everyone, at least all those who are here right now, what skill did you see coming up while they were playing this or in this short 52-second video? What sort of skill did you find kids engaging?
Communication.
Yeah,
Just
I was gonna
yelling,
say
yelling.
Yelling? Yeah, sure.
communication. I was gonna say the same.
Yeah, right. So communication. And what about decision making? Because again, one thing that one of the kids said was life is a gamble, right? And sometimes you have to make certain decisions that may be right, or they might just go the other way as well. So risk taking is another skill that we explored through this particular game. We look at how do we interact with the peers to understand what they want to do. So it's a combination of different skills that we explore through each game that we play. And one of the reasons that, like one of the things that Avinash was talking about was taking a skills first approach in what we do at TomoClub. And that's precisely what we have been trying to do. Now, another thing that Avinash also pointed out was making learning fun, right? So there's this really amazing book written by Raf Costa, uh, which is called The Theory of Fun. It was shared with me by one of our colleagues only. And one of the quotes said that fun is learning, right? Fun is just another word for learning. And that's exactly what we've been trying to explore here, giving them a very hands-on experience into different skills that might seem very abstract, right? But as soon as they get into this game or get into any of the games, they're applying whatever it is. They're literally acting according to the descriptions for each of these skills, right? Now, would love for Matt to just explore what sort of idea did you have, Matt, regarding the skills first approach that most educators want to take, but they're sometimes just bound by the idea that there are different other things that have to be completed.
I think video games give us a platform for a really unique skills first approach, because it creates that environment where it's okay to be wrong. You respawn. We live in a world where it's like, okay, that was nothing. And so when we're trying to develop life skills through video games, what I see happening is, it doesn't necessarily happen through the video game. It happens through the peers. And because it's hard to take advice. Gosh, I'm yelling. You guys have me excited. It's hard to take advice from a sage on a stage. You're like, okay, whatever. But then when someone's your peer is telling you, hey, you know what? I can't hear you. And in watching a lot of these kids play TomoClub, that's what you realize. They can learn skills so much easier from each other than they can from you, because you've already set up this bias, and so have they, that you're not them. And so I love seeing kids taking the skills that each one of our games is trying to bring out in them, and they're teaching them to each other. It's really, I see Chelsea and I see our moderators go in and step in. The kids don't generally get unruly. There's a lot of surprising circumstances that I find where I'm like, why are they not being rude? How come this isn't happening? But I'm not a child psychologist, and I'm not a video game designer. Those are all things unto themselves. But in seeing these results, what you realize is, wow, what we're doing is creating this environment where kids get to bump around a little bit with each other around this central, it's not a monolith, it's just a central idea that they get to ideate with each other. Hey, what did you think about that? They come up with crap that you and I would never think of, because we're not 10 and having a bad attitude that morning or whatever. My name isn't Yogurt Worm that day. You know, like whatever. But I think one of the things about thinking about skills first that I've been challenged as a parent and as now an educator is, you need to reconsider what skills you're even trying to instill in your teenager, because they're not as stupid as you think they are. And you probably aren't expecting enough of them. And, you know, so I feel inadequate to even meet the kids that I'm around's needs around this, but I see them meeting it for each other, and having a place where they can come and be a little bit anonymous, but have an identity and be known. I don't know. It's all challenging to me, because my whole gamer reference is like 15 years ago, you know, before I was building empires. You can't play video games a lot when you're building empires, but now I'm realizing there's this huge benefit, and I want to be a part of that, and I don't want to be in the way. I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, this is what you need to learn. These are the life skills that you're going to need, because all of this is, we're living in times that are hard to predict, and so the giving kids the skills that have been building blocks for us, not the elevator of the top to success, but those stairs that have allowed us to reach the heights that we're at. There's no problem in saying, hey, this is important, and giving them an environment to play in, and then having Chelsea and our team go, hey guys, we're not just playing a game. This is because, and that's the other super cool thing about the skills first approach. Like Chelsea, what you said about video games, it's always your turn. It's literally always your turn. You have to play, or your team is like, dude, you have to flip the switch. So the engagement level of the kids my kids, when they're playing, I hear them and I watch these videos, and they don't even realize what they're learning. They don't even know. I'm sure, Chelsea, you intended every single learning outcome that happens, you know, but I'm astounded by these things. And really, it is, in my opinion, giving them that safe environment where they can bump around, where it's okay to be like, Well, for instance, I'll give you a real life for instance. My daughter says the other day, well, so-and-so, what's up with the green worm yogurt, whatever this? And I said, dude, kids have bad days and good days where they just want to be weird. Like it's just neat to have an environment where kids can learn skills. And what I'm trying to say is the real benefit that I see is when they're learning them from each other without even knowing they're doing it, we're obviously doing something right.
I think I completely agree, right? Like just that natural process of learning is is just there because it's fun. And as you said, and we've been saying that it's engaging, right? Now, coming to the point of the skills first approach. Now, we've got the jobs that were, say, available, say, 20 years back, they're redundant now, or at least some of them are, right? And we don't know the kind of jobs that might come up in another 20 years, right? We don't know what's going to happen in another 20 years in terms of the job sector, in terms of what would be the hard skills that would be required, what would be things that we want to take, what sort of skills do we want to learn now so that, or what sort of hard skills do we want to learn now that will be applicable, say, 10 years down the line, or even 5 years down the line now with the, say, really hike of AI and, the entire thing. What we do believe, or at least this is my perspective, is that education in every aspect is that single most important part developing individuals, right? And it's what's shaping their future, whether it be math, whether it be science, whether it be literature, it can be anything. But at the end of the day, what makes us human? Critical thinking, definitely, yes, math. At the end of the day, what makes us human are these social skills. How do we connect to someone who's going through a bad day, right? How do we say something kind to someone who requires it because they've just not been able to get back up, right? How do we identify what's going on with ourselves, especially with the different things that are happening around us in our environment? So all these different skills, AI can maybe at some point in life, maybe these are things that the AI can detect. But till then, can we build a future, or can we build a space for children to feel safe, and not just feel safe, but also to identify these different skills within themselves and make a safer, say, environment for those around them? We know that there's a lot of violence happening. There's a lot of there's climate crisis, there's violence, there's ACs for certain sectors. And there's a lot that's happening. But how do we provide that sort of safe space for children to grow and become self-sufficient in terms of becoming better citizens as well, right? Not just of their country, but of the world. How do we prevent people from, say, pushing another person right down the ditch? How do we help someone get better and come out of certain traumas that they might have encountered in their lives, or at least just be there for them? So I think with respect to a skills first approach, I think hard skills definitely come into play within the classroom, right? And in terms of certain cognitive skills that anyway get built with even a simple essay that is given within the classroom. But these are things that have to be explicitly, say, spoken to with the child, right? This is the skill that you're learning because this is something that you can use in your day-to-day life as you're growing. So say, for example, by giving pre-teenagers, right? We know that preteens go through a lot of hormonal imbalance. There's a lot of things going on in their lives, right? And it's a different world for them. As soon as they touch their teens, they're exposed to more things. They're exposed to a very different world. Now, how do we let them know that they're still safe, right? How do we give them that sort of understanding and discernment that, okay, this is something that may or may not be right for me going down the line, right? How do we let them think critically about anything that comes their way? So these are the different aspects that I think come from my perspective that when we're talking about the skills first approach, I think that sort of understanding of the self has to come first. How do you become aware of yourself so that you're a better citizen of the environment that you're encountering? Yeah. So yeah, and I think we take different approaches as educators. Some educators like to take a very constructivist approach. Some of them want to take a very student-centered approach. Some of them want activities or hands-on activities or skill-based approaches. And there can be a list of approaches that educators want to take in their classrooms. But there are so many different layers that an educator has to say climb, or just to provide that sort of space for their students, right? Because at the end of the day, they are employees of another organization. No matter how much you want to call them your kids, right? You want to say that these are the kids that we want to give everything to. It does become, say, cumbersome at some point in time, because no matter how much you try, you need support from every area, right? So even when we talk about the castle framework, right, we talk about the 5 competencies, then there are these overlapping, not overlapping, but there's these other concentric circles which uh, talk about which environments might impact the child more, right? How do different programs impact the child? So how do you connect with the families? How do you connect with the school or the district? How do you connect with the entire environment around them, right? So just focusing on these different skills, just different spaces can help children to grow with these skills, right? And hence get these better social skills that again help them resolve conflicts better, help them cooperate better, help them build something that is innovative and which helps others as well, right? I might I'm again, everyone's personality is different, everyone's temperament is different. We don't want everyone to be the same, right? No one wants everyone to be the same. It would be a very utopian world if everyone was, kind, if everyone was same. But is it something not worth looking forward to, right? Like if I want something that, again, my perspective, if I want something that I want to, something like a world where everyone is kind to each other, there's no one who's mean to the other person sitting next to them. If there's someone who's willing to give up a seat for someone else, or if there's someone who's willing to share their lunchbox with someone else without having been asked to. I mean, these are small things, right? But as they're growing, don't you think these are the small things that would impact, say, more people, right? Say their kids or kids who look up to them. People look at these things and they're like, okay, they're being kind. Maybe I can be that too. Maybe I can be that too for the people around me. So I think that's where my perspective comes from, a very skills first approach. Again, having a sort of growth mindset towards any skill, right? Whether it be critical thinking as well. We apply critical thinking in every aspect of our lives, right? And how do we convey that to a child? How do we convey how do we convey that they're being critical about uh, any decision that they have to take? How do we break that down and give it to them, saying, okay, this is something that you have. Have you seen this being applied in any other area of your life? And can you then talk about this with someone else? How do you spread the word? Yeah, go ahead, man. I know you've been waiting to say something. Go ahead.
No, not really. I love what I just love what you're saying, because skills first approach doesn't mean let's prep our kid to have a good job.
Yeah.
It's where I come from, because my mentality is, okay, look, got to get ready. Come on, come on, come on, come on. But what you're saying is skills first approach is nurture the human so they become better in every social environment. That's the whole castle framework. As you move further and further out, it's all those social circles and all the work that the kids do to grow in these areas has an effect not just on them, but every person that's in their arena.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get dramatic and make like a big, diagram or something, but I love what you're saying, because it's like citizenry isn't just citizenry for the sake of not hurting others. It's so that we all prosper together. And I have nothing to add. I was just cheering you.
Thank you, Matt. So as a result, of course, teaching skills rather than just knowledge, it stands out in the field of education. We know that the best teachers are those who are empathetic to their kids, right, or to their classroom. The best teachers are those who reach out to kids who need reaching out to, right? And these are the students that we expect to have the skills of the future, which we then call the 21st century skills, right? The 4 C's and the entire bracket. So yeah, so that was it with regards to my perspective on the skills first approach and what we've been trying to also imbibe through TomoClub and what we've been trying to build at TomoClub as well. And yeah, so an interesting study that happened with American Succeed. They analyzed about 82 million job postings from 2019 to 2018. And they found that they came up with an analysis, and they found that the life skills were requested 3.8 times more than the top 5 hard skills, right? So if employees are asking for these soft skills, why aren't we all already focusing on these things, right? Why are we waiting to learn from just experiences? Why can't we give that experience in some aspect or the other, right? Of course, kids are in school for a very short duration, and whatever interactions they're having with different spaces. But if, say, a short while is just devoted to them interacting in a kind manner, giving them just that thought that, okay, you can do this. It's not difficult for you because it's already in you to be human or to be humane to others. Right? So yeah, and that was it with regard to these durable skills, 21st century skills, and all the different skills that we've just been speaking about. And yeah, those were my 2 cents on them. And yeah,
Can I add something to that?
go ahead.
Because I do have a unique perspective. I have been that guy that's sitting on I'm not sitting on the board, that's with the board selecting who to hire, and having sit through 16 months of having to completely fire the whole VP team because they didn't have the life skills to be able to be empathetic or negotiate with each other. And we're talking about, with businesses, it's hundreds of millions of dollars that you lose. You can lose a whole business because you lose traction because of the time period that takes place to replace the people that don't have the life skills. They all have the ability. They've all gone to the Ivy League schools and been put through the presses, but when it comes down to it, relationally, they don't have the ability to do what it takes to suck it up. There's 100 different deficiencies, but all the scholastics in the world doesn't get the deal done. And so from a corporate setting, a lot of times what you're managing are not all of your corporation's skills. You're managing your deficiencies, where you're like, okay, look, if we get in this negotiation, this guy's going to get sideways because has a pride issue. Okay, and you're actually managing the character of the people that exist in your environment. And so that, to be on the early side of this now, Chelsea, is I've been a part of that selecting process where you're like, okay, what life skills can we do without in this situation?
Yeah, and would love to ask the audience, what do you think are the skills that you wished you had honed as a child, or early on in your life?
Let me think about that for a second. Patience.
Yeah, absolutely. Maths, right? Listening. I think listening was one for me as well. Um, very short story. If I apologize if I'm taking too much time, but I think till I did not come to my undergrad, I did not know how to listen actively. Right? I would want to like present whatever thoughts I had because I felt like no one was listening to me. But I realized that it was my problem. It wasn't theirs. Right? And so what I was doing was I was only talking, but I wasn't learning anything because when you're talking, you're only saying things that you already know. Right? But when you're listening, you're actually learning something. And maybe that's something that you can go and speak about later. But till my undergrad, I was a terrible listener. And I mean, so many years down the line, I'm a psychologist now, and that's my work, right? To listen and to understand what's happening. So, yeah, I wish I was a better listener, growing up, just knowing that, okay, there's something called as active listening, and maybe that's something that you should try. Yeah. So now we're getting to a short gameplay that we're going to do just to explore what the game session at TomoClub looks like. I've pasted a link in the chat box. Would love if everyone could just click on the link and I'll walk you through how you can get on board. Let me know.
Sharla, are you joining from a laptop or a PC?
Laptop.
Yeah, that works.
Perfect, sounds good.
Okay.
So it's
Run.
come up. Am I at the right? It says type a message here. No.
No,
Am I in the right?
I'll just send the link again. Okay?
Let me see.
Yeah, I'll just send the link in the chat box. Can you see the chat box?
Yeah.
Can you see a link on top?
Mm-hmm.
Just click
I
on
click
it.
on it.
Yeah.
And then it goes into a meeting chat. Is that right?
It should open up into another browser. It should look something like this. Let me share my screen. Yeah, this is something that it should look like. I think why don't you minimize
One
this?
game. One game.
Yeah, click on run game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chelsea, which region should you select?
Yeah, just select the region as Europe. I'll just walk you through it, don't worry. So you put in your name in the username and select the build as player. So you'll see two arrows on both the ends. Select the build as player and the region as Europe. Let me know if you've been able to do that.
So sorry, where it says build, what is that for?
Choose player. Player as your build. Do you see moderator or player written there?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Select player. And the region should be Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. And then click on connect.
Okay.
And click on join. And the room ID is 169. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Let me know if you're in. If it's not working, let me know as well. Oh, it's 906. Pardon me. 906. Yeah, I'll just share my screen again.
So how do we get back to, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are.
Avinash, I'm going to, yeah, just sorry, so that Sharla gets to pay.
I'm Fisher, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
So I have to put a name.
Yeah.
Where do I put the name?
Okay, so your name might already be in, right? Did you type in your name at the beginning?
Oh yeah, Charlotte L. I think.
Yeah. And then did you click on confirm?
Oh, in the beginning, meaning I did when I downloaded it, but I haven't done anything here. I don't think I put my name in.
Yeah, let me stop sharing and help you through it. Okay, so once you click on the link,
Okay.
once you click on the link, you clicked on run game, then you put in your username, right? You
I
put in
don't think, but I should have. I should have. Yeah, I did it.
that's okay. Why don't you click on the link again and I'll walk you through it again. Not a-
Okay. Where's the link in the chat? No.
Yes, it's in the chat. Yes, I've just shared it again.
Run game. Okay.
Yeah, click on run game, then type in your name. Once a box appears which says username.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you'll see something popping up which says,
Oh, username. Okay.
Yeah,
So
type
I'll
in-
put um
Put G off.
put what?
Jeff.
Oh, put Jeff. Okay, I just put my name
That's perfect.
and then connect.
yeah. Now before connecting, what is the region that that's coming up on your screen? Did you click on?
USW.
Okay. Now just click on reconnect again. Do you see one like
Yeah.
a earth-like symbol? Yeah, click on that again. And select the region as Europe by just toggling, just click on the arrows and you might come to Europe.
Oh, it says okay. I see what you're saying. Canada. Europe. Oops. How do I go
Perfect.
back?
And now
No,
click
it says India. It's saying India. I got to get back to Europe.
yeah, to Europe. Just click on the other arrow. The arrow on the left.
Yeah. Okay. Connect and then hit connect.
Hit connect.
Okay.
And now
Very
click
excited
on
to
join.
play this.
Click on
Join.
join. Yeah. And enter the room ID as which is 906.
Okay. Sorry. Click on join.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Okay.
enter the room ID, which is
906. Okay.
906.
Okay.
Yeah.
906. Okay. Confirm.
Perfect.
Okay.
That was great. All right. So I'm just going to give you a quick heads up. I'm going to be using the arrow keys on the keyboard,
Mhm.
right? We're going to be using the arrow keys, and every time you're at a control panel, you're going to see a pop-up which will tell you what to do, right? So say, for example, you're at a control panel which says space. If you click on space, there are contraptions that will open, and only then can your entire team go towards the flag point, right? So there's a flag point that the entire team needs to reach to. Okay, so it's going to be a short round. We're just doing this to explore what the game looks like, right? And yeah, just explore it. Both Matt and I have played this multiple times, so we're going to play it together. So we just might have a lot of fun. Yeah. So I'm going to start the game now. And yeah, just make sure that you're active on your browser. In the meanwhile, I'm going to share my screen. And just in case, yeah. Okay, now use your arrow keys. Yeah, I see you, Sharla. Why don't you use the left arrow key? Left.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Now come along. Use the right arrow key
Right arrow key. Okay.
and the up arrow key. Yeah. Just use it to, yeah, perfect. All right. Perfect. Let's go down.
I opened the gate. If you guys come get the last key, there's a key in the hallway.
Okay, we're coming. Come, Sharla.
Charlotte, come down.
Come down. Just use the arrow keys. Left
Down,
and
down.
yeah,
There
perfect.
you go.
Right,
Now
right.
to your right.
Come to the right.
Oh, go up, Charlotte, and to the right.
Yeah. Come.
Follow Chelsea. She has the same haircut as you.
Oh,
That's what's confusing me because she's exactly the same.
Look, we're like trip. Oh, I'm sorry. I closed the door. Hold on. I'll open it. Okay, come through.
go to the right. Go to the right. Yeah, perfect. All right, let's go. Let's go. Go to the right, Charlotte.
Oh,
Yeah, go
oops.
up. Yeah, go to the right. Yeah, let's go. And come. I'm waiting for you.
Up.
Charlotte, I like your jeans.
Let's come, Charlotte. Let's go. Go to the right.
And Chelsea, I like your t-shirt.
We're literally the same fisher, dude. Literally the same. Come, Charlotte. Go right and come down.
My pompadour is like
Come down.
really in
Down.
style.
Yeah. Come down. Don't be afraid to press it for too long. It's fine.
Oh,
Go
we
to
have to press it together.
no, let's come one by one.
Oh,
And
I disappeared.
go,
Oh,
go out and come back in. Yeah, good job. We'll do one more round and we're at
Okay.
the second one.
Okay,
So,
so you go into the maze through to get to the bottom.
yeah, and we
Go.
needed each other's help for it.
oh, I thought I had the mat. I thought I had the
Now,
light.
try searching for the light bulb.
I got it.
Yeah, okay. Fisher dude's got it. Shala, try collecting all the keys. Use your arrow keys to move up, down, right, or left.
Okay, where am I trying to go now? Are we starting at the top or?
Yeah, so we need to go to the bottom right. So you need to figure out this maze. But yeah, come down, Sharla, and go right. We need to collect all the keys as well. Perfect. You collected one. Now go right and come down. Go right, go left, sorry. Go left and come down. And go left again. And go up. And go left. And come down again. Can you come down? Yeah, good job. Keep coming here. And stay here. Just stay here.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Why don't you try zooming out? Do you see a zoom button on your screen?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, just click on that. And tell me, yeah,
We can click on all this.
yeah. Click on the zoom button. Do you see me and do you see Fisher Dude as well now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now why don't you guide us? Because we need to go towards the bottom left corner, bottom right corner, sorry. Okay, so
Oh,
tell,
but
yeah.
we have to get the key. Do we have to get the keys?
Yes, so we have to go down now. So can you tell me which side I should rotate the contraption? Should I go right or left?
Where,
Because you
wait,
go down.
where are you again? You need to go left,
Okay.
and down.
Yeah, that's okay. Are you all able to go down?
Wait,
Yeah, come down. Go, Shala. Go, go, go. Yeah, now why don't you help me out, please? I also need to come out of there. So,
oh, he already got the keys. So,
yeah, but I need to come down. Why don't you try zooming out and see where I'm stuck?
do I need okay, can I help you?
Yes. Can you see a can you see a control panel below where I'm stuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Why
what,
don't you go? Yeah. Yes. 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 Can you go to that?
yeah.
No, no, not there. I think it's on top.
Here, follow me.
Oh, Fisher Dude's coming to help us. Okay. We just have
Charlotte.
to.
Charlotte, follow me.
Okay.
I'll show you where the terminal is because we got to spin the wheel for Chelsea. Come over here. Follow me. See this terminal right here? That's like an ATM that turns that wheel. Go up to it. Walk up to the white thing, Charlotte, and then go left. Walk up and left. Now, does it when you get? Oh, did you use it?
What do I have to?
Okay, if you press a button, it'll spin the wheel for Chelsea.
Yeah, I
Wait,
just
it's
it in my
game paused. Wait, what?
I
Oh, you paused it. Okay, okay.
So now we just have 20 seconds left. We're going to strategize really well. Okay, because if we're not done in the next 20 seconds, we won't be able to complete this level. So what we'll do is we'll press Q, and then what do you think we should do? We'll have to get to the bottom right corner. Sorry, bottom right corner of our screens. Who do you think should take the lead so that we're towards the right hand side?
Fisher dude.
Fisher dude? All right.
Wait, hold on. What you're saying is don't start the game. Don't start the game, please. Okay, what you're saying is we have to go down and to the right to exit all together. But Chelsea, you're stuck behind the yellow wheel. You need the wheel turned clockwise 1, 2, 3 times.
Yeah, but we can also turn it anti-clockwise. So just press Q. Q will make it turn anti-clockwise once.
Oh, and then we just run for the exit.
Yeah, then we just run. We'll follow you, Matt.
Oh gosh.
But
all right, I can do this.
We can do this.
So I'll go down Charlotte's Hall and to the right. Okay, we got this.
We got this. Okay, and the game starts again. Okay, click on Q really quick, Charlotte. Click on Q. Can you see Q?
Okay. Yeah.
Press Q.
Press Q.
Okay.
No, it's not working. Yeah. You got 10 seconds.
I'm clicking on it. It's not doing anything.
I think time's up. Oh no. That's okay. This was a very good try. And all right, I'm going to exit us to the lobby. And so this is what the interface looks like when we're getting kids in. And yeah, and it's completely in our control, right? So if we want to pause the game, or if we want them to go on to the next round, or we want them to just explore the round for a little while longer, that's something that we can do. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. How was this round for you, Sharla?
Well, I was trying to just determine about 10 things at the same time, because I was like, okay, this is a game. This is the goal of the game. And then I didn't know what you meant by the keys, because it looked like a skeleton to me. So I didn't know that you said get the keys. So there were just so many things going on, but it was incredibly engaging. Yeah. And it was, I felt very supported, by you and Fisher dude. We were all trying to help, and I know what the goals of the game. I could see how they were playing out in real time. So it was pretty incredible.
Thank you for sharing that, Sharla. And what do you think, or at least from your perspective, what do you think is one skill other than effective communication that you think kids would take back from this and would be able to apply it in their day-to-day lives? Just as an educator, what is that one thing that comes to your mind almost instantly?
Cooperation.
Yeah, cooperation, definitely. Right. And yeah, go ahead, Matt.
For me, it's the necessity to get the light. And then on top of the light, to also, once you have the light, you're not really rescued. You can only see slightly more, but then zooming out a little bit further, and then being able to go, okay, wait a second, I'm bumping my head. Why am I flipping this switch trying to get something to move? That's not even what I need. I just thought it was like really cool.
Right. So zooming out, right? So we talk about the zoomed out perspective in this particular game, about how having a zoomed out perspective really helps just understanding the entire scenario, right? So you're able to see where your teammates are, you're able to see where you need to get out from, you're able to see where you're also trapped, so that you can ask for help and cooperate with the others, right? Now, how do you apply this particular concept into your day-to-day lives? Now, sometimes you might come or fall into trouble, or there might be times when, there are things that are troublesome for you. How do you look at these things from a zoomed out perspective, right? How do you apply that zoomed out perspective in your day-to-day lives? So that's one of the learning outcomes that we focus on with this particular game. or at least with this, with the first session that we have with the kids. And then going forward, we talk about critical thinking, we talk about, effective communication, collaboration is always the core of every game. So no matter the game we play, they are communicating, they have to communicate rather. They have to collaborate with each other to reach whatever end goal is there. So yeah, and just like Matt had spoken about the opportunity cost earlier on, we focus on these different concepts in each session that we have. So like the previous session that we had with one of the cohorts, we were talking about the second order thinking, and we keep reinforcing these different concepts in the different games that they're playing, so that they're able to apply whatever we're talking about in their daily lives, and also talk to their peers and and to the people around them. So yeah, that's about it with respect to how games, or at least this particular game, can also be fun and can also be engaging and provide that sort of learning that we want them to take back from the session. So yeah, that's it, and would love to answer any questions that you would have.
It's amazing to me, just seeing it for the first time, how many of those goals that you cover within minutes, you
Yeah.
know, and how long is a typical game?
So in one session, we have 3 rounds of gameplay. Right? So 3 rounds would be around 30 minutes of gameplay. That is 10 minutes of each round of gameplay again. Sorry. So yeah, it's done in a scaffolded fashion. So the first round would be just for them to explore what's happening in the game, just for them to explore what the game is, how well they can work with their team. And then the second round is, so they come back after the first round, they talk about what were some things that were working for them, what were some things that they can do better. Then they go into the second round, which in which they're literally applying these different strategies, getting better at them, and with the help of the moderator, right? So the moderator is always helping them out in the first 2 rounds. The third round is when the moderator does not really intervene much, but they're given that space to just collaborate within the group and explore the game without much help, unless they're asked to it. So yeah. And then the last part, which is the most important part of what we do here, is about just having that conversation and debriefing everything that we've done during the game, and what strategies that they've come up with, how did they, all these different concepts that we were just talking about, we then apply it towards the end of the round. Yeah.
Are there themes on the games?
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah. So all the
Well,
games, yes.
like what kind of, like what would, this was just kind of showing how it worked, right? But
Yeah.
would it, like, just an example of like a theme, or
So we follow 3 competencies, right? So we have a framework that we've been able to come up with. We have 3 competencies that we focus on: leadership, innovation, and emotional intelligence. And these 3 competencies have been broken down into 15 skills, which are then divided based on, the different aspects of where a child lies, and, it's an entire thing. But what I'll do right now is share my screen.
Chelsea, I think she's talking about specifically what are the themes to the games.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so we have a bunch of several different games, actually 20 almost, we're working on 30 games, but they're all themed. One is Secret Santa, where Santa forgot to deliver packages, and so now you have to be the Super Santa and help all the little Santas run around and deliver packages. River Taxi, theme park, where kids learn entrepreneurial skills and financial skills. Each game is themed. Not only that, one of the things that's very important about the gameplay itself is, in order to be engaging and keep kids engaged in the games, it has to be something that speaks their language. It can't be stupid. It can't be baby. It can't, all the complaints that you hear. but here you go. There's all the themes.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Charlotte, you were asking something? Were you asking
No,
something?
no. This is exactly what I meant
Yeah.
to see. Like what if they fall into certain themes, and this is great.
They do, right? So you can see two of our emotional intelligence games here, right here. One is called the emotional roller coaster, which is the theme park game that Matt was just talking about. And we got EI Joe, where they're trying to identify what the character feels, how can they do better, and it's and the likes. So yeah, and Secret Santa is a leadership game, and we've got a bunch of other games that have to be up there. So yeah.
What was the genesis for this idea? Like, how did, just briefly, like, I know we don't have a lot of time, but like, how we're just all sitting around a table, and what was that initial spark? Because this is so creative and so on point. Yeah.
Avinash, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chelsea. So, Shala, the genesis was actually, so it didn't come on a one fine day. It just built up over time. So when we started, we thought, let's do conundrums. So conundrums are videos with our open-ended question and answers. So we tried that initially. We saw that kids were enjoying watching them a lot, but then their contribution was very limited. Like one or two kids out of the group will take the lead, and the rest will be like, okay, fine, whatever. So we thought, okay, that is exciting. The videos are exciting, but it's not engaging anyone. Then we saw the rise of Minecraft and Roblox among US kids. We studied that a lot, and we realized that it is really helping building skills. It's just that those games do not have a fixed learning outcome defined. So that's a problem. And they're very addictive. Then they understood the fact of screen time. So a lot of parents are having this issue of exceeding screen time for their kids. So there's a new term called ethical screen time, in which if kids are watching this, we can't avoid that, but let's put it out in a better way, which is helping them as well. So I will say that nothing happens overnight. It's a build-up process, it's a learning process, and yeah, we are still on the journey.
Wow, that's a really good synopsis of how it developed, and it makes so much sense. And then, yeah, just you're in the sweet spot now where you want to get these kids on something. They're going to be on a screen, and they don't even need to know what they're learning because they're just internalizing a lot of this, you know.
There's one more insight that I would like to share. So, educational games is nothing new. They have been here for decades. But the problem with educational games right now is most of them are content heavy. So, let's say if some game want to teach about emotional intelligence. So, what they will do is they will put up a character, they'll put up the title. What they're going to do, they're going to make a presentation look like a game. And even in the presentation, we mostly sleep. So, those are very content heavy games. They were not mechanics heavy. So that was also one of the important insight, that the skill will actually be imbibed if we have more playability, if we have repeatability, right? The kids should feel like, okay, I want to play more. Like you were playing Wave Crisis Crew, you have the tendency to play the next round. So with the upcoming levels, your collaboration with Chelsea and Matt will definitely improve. Your communication, your curiosity to identify that, okay, what will this lever do? What will this rotatory thing do? It will keep on building up. So we don't want the game to be one one time pill. We want it to be more like a wellness thing where you give your time because you're enjoying it. So I think that's a difference between content heavy games and mechanics heavy games.
Yeah, awesome. Um, so when the kids, I know they have, like in the beginning, Matt was saying, I like your jeans. I like, where do they have the time for that kind of like banter, you know?
Right. So I think I can answer that. So we start off with them just talking, right? We just start off with them engaging in uh, any sort of icebreaker that we have. We'll talk about things. We do a recapitulation of whatever's happened. And then even during the gameplay, it's not that the moderator is with them at all times. There are moments because they're doing it in breakout rooms, right? And there are always two moderators with the kids. So there'll be one moderator who's with the kids, the one who's speaking with them and just explaining everything. And there's another one on like who's almost like an assistant who observes what the kids are doing, right? So if there's anything that's worth reporting, that's something that is reported to the moderator. So they do have a lot of time for banter, right? So they have, even if it's with the moderators are very comfortable and make the kids comfortable enough to consider it as a safe space to have these sort of conversations where they're just having fun. And I don't think it has. Yeah, go ahead.
So the moderator was missing from our little test. So where would they have come in? What would they have been doing?
Yeah.
You sound like you were the moderator, but no, you were actually a player. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you were helping me.
So the moderator would do the same thing, especially if it's in the first round, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so right now, because both Matt and I have played this game before, right? We understand it. We know that we can play it in a blind mode as well, right? Without having to see anything because we know the map inside out. However, with the kids, that's something that they're exploring for the first time. So the moderator being there just acts like a sort of support for them to explore what has to be done. Now, the first round is crucial for the moderator to be with the kids because they're telling them, oh, they don't give them direct instructions. That's something that's always there, right? In terms of direct instructions for, okay, this is something that you need to do. This is how you're going to figure it out. You can give them prompts, right? You can give them hints, but we don't directly tell them, okay, this is what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, we keep telling the kids this as well, that failure is also learning. You're learning what not to do in the next round. So yeah, the moderator is there to support the kids, right? More than to guide them towards the end goal, or at least during the gameplay.
Can they practice in between, like on their own, or no? That defeats the purpose.
That defeats the purpose, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not something that, because I know Roblox, I'm not that familiar with it, but I have friends that have younger kids and they all they want to do is like Minecraft and get to the next level. And it's very solid. Well, I know they can do it with other people, but it's more solitary. It can be very solitary, isolating,
Right.
This kind of, forces the engagement with others and socializing them.
Yeah. So we do give certain kids, like we do give the kids an option to play the game again, but none of our games can be played alone, right? So even if they are playing it or even if they are practicing it, if at all, they have to call their peers to play it with them. So
I see.
Yeah, so every game requires at least 3 members. So
okay. And so how does it work? Does this work at home at all, or how is there any family engagement, or how does that?
Yeah, can I share my screen somehow?
Go ahead. Let me know.
Oh, share screen. It's right here. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pull up, and I'm gonna share Charlotte an email. I don't know if this is the most updated one, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So you should see this, and I don't know if the images are going to come through, but this is basically an email that I get that is a report for what happened with the last week for Emmeline and what she was learning. It says what game was played. So we played Secret Santa, where leaders had to give precise instructions, evaluate decisions, delegate, and strategize effectively as they help the Santas to deliver the gifts at the right location. And as Santas, they had to be team players, practice with patience and support with their team members. So it's letting the parent know, this is what your kid did for an hour. This is what they learned. Children were allotted to roles where they had to work together, blah, 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 blah. So then now here's Emmeline's snapshot. This is a moderator that has been moderating her for now 11 sessions. And so what the moderator is doing is not teaching the kids per se, but it's also they're also assessing how the kids are interacting so that they can give that feedback directly to the parents and track the progress. Okay, so for instance, Emmeline snapshot. Here's what the moderators had to say. Emmeline was great at listening and was flexible in doing whatever the task the team needed to do. She was excellent at communicating where each of her teammates needed to go to make them feel heard and welcome. So as a parent, as an educator, I now know this. Okay, I can talk to Emmeline about that. Oh man, I noticed we want to grow the things, encourage the things that we want to grow, right? So we're like, hey, as a parent, I'm like, I'm going to encourage that because somebody else noticed that about my student or about my kid. And so then there's collaboration in action that also gives you a YouTube video to watch about avoiding blind spots, about opportunity costs, just so that the parent or educator can interact on a level that's not just the video game, but hey, this is what we noticed about you and about what you're doing. And so there is parent involvement.
That's incredible. And so if kids are going to meet it's in a school setting, so they know the other, they know of the other. How are the groups contained so that, you know, from a safety point and everything? I'm sure it's worked into the system, but how do parents know, like, there's not going to be some rogue person? Is that because there's a mediator there all the time?
Precisely. Right. So a TomoClub moderator is always there, no matter where the session is taking place. So even if it's a session taking place within a school system, there's a moderator always present, whether online or offline with them. And they're always, we try to get our moderators from areas or, the same spaces where the school is or where the kids are from. So yeah, just to make
could they do this in like an after school environment, boys and girls clubs? And
yeah, absolutely.
Right now they're just, going on their devices and looking on TikTok, or at school they have YS, which is so not supervised. It's a free for all, and they're not learning anything. They're actually learning damaging things, which I was talking to Avinash about. I think the number of environments that this could be applied in is huge as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Actually, Charlotte, we actually experimented in an offline setup as well. So just like in a classroom, there was a moderator or a teacher right in the front, and there were desks on which the group of kids were playing together. So let's say you three were in the same team, so you'll be sitting together, and then they will have around 5 or 6 such groups together in a classroom. And the moderator, so when she has to talk, she asks everyone to shut down the lid of their laptop or desktop and look at her, and then go back to your game. She shared the room ID in person. And in the offline setup, we have seen a much, much better experience, to be honest, because everything is happening live, right? You can see each other faces. So yeah, we have been successful in both online and offline setup.